Hi, it's Ryan from Sites for Church. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the About pages, which is the main informational pages of your site. Now, this has changed a little bit. We've added some features to this. So if you are a older customer, these things will be rolling out gradually to you too as well. But if you go to your site, you notice there's an About pages. It's got a book icon. So we're just gonna click on this About pages thing here, and you'll notice that there's now 4 tabs across the top. There are 3 pages that we want you to have. Let me close this here. There are 3 pages that we want you to have by default. We want you to have a leadership page, a beliefs page, a gospel presentation page. We find that on almost every website, almost every church website, those 3 things are present. And so we wanted to give you a help and also to make them sort of more interesting than just a static, straight page of text. And so I want to kind of walk you through each one of these. And as I do, I will show you some of what I'm talking about here. So I've got this website here pulled up, and we're going to start with a leadership page. Let me move this over here. I'll move this over here. Okay, so on leadership, every row on the leadership is going to be another one of these leaders over here. So you'll have the leader name, and that corresponds with this. The position, and that shows underneath the leader name with a line underneath it. And then you have the content, and the content needs to be in Markdown, of course. The photo, and that's obviously right there. And then there's this box that says is senior pastor. Now the way this works is if you were to add another one of these, leaders here, like say a youth pastor or something like that, it's going to show in the order that is shown here. So the order of the base, the top row number 1 is going to be on top, with the exception of is senior pastor. If you click is senior pastor, what's going to happen is this gray box is going to go around it, and or it might be slightly different on your theme, but it's going to be similar. That gray box is going to be around it, and it's going to be always on top. And that way you can differentiate your senior pastor from the other volunteers and staff that you have. All right. The second one on here is beliefs. And let me go to a beliefs page here. Okay. On beliefs, the way that we have this is I wanted this to sort of make it so that you can take your statement of faith and break it up a little bit and make it a little bit more digestible. And I thought the easiest way to do that would be to add some icons. And so there is something called Font Awesome. Let me actually go there real quick. Font Awesome icons. And there's a link to this in the documentation. But all of these different icons here you can use, and there's hundreds of them. And so all you have to do to add a section to this is to give it a title. This is new section. Underneath here, you can choose from one of these, which are sort of pre-made icons that we think work well. Or if you find one that you like on this list better, like let's say you wanted to do battery. I don't know why you would, but you would just type in FA-battery-full. And you have to start with FA. Okay, and then it gives you this create new option. We're not going to do that, but if you did, that icon would show. Any of these icons will work. And then of course in the content section we have you would put that in Markdown there. Okay, and this shows in the order that it's displayed on this base. So I'm going to delete this. Next we have the gospel. Gospel is always going to be at the bottom of your About Us. Okay. And so I'm going to click on this, and the gospel is really simple. It's just really simple. Praise the Lord for that. But the gospel page is really simple. It's just going to show the heading that you have right here. It's going to show this featured image, and there'll be a default featured image that falls back to if you don't add one. And then the content is in Markdown like this. Now, this is a single line database like we've talked about in some other videos. So the top line is the one that's going to show. But one of the things I plan on doing very soon is adding multiple multiple gospel presentations to our default. And what that will allow you to do is to have several starting points. So you can just click, let's say we add one here. This would be our second gospel presentation. Okay, and you like this one better. All you would have to do is click and move that up to number 1, and then this gospel presentation will be the one that shows. And so we're going to be doing that, rolling that out to our defaults for new people so that you have more than one gospel presentation that you can choose from, or you can start from scratch and add your own. That's totally fine, but we wanted to make sure that you have those. Now, the last thing is other pages. On this one, we have an Our History page, or church history page. And so that's what this client wanted to add. The featured image is optional. If you want to add your own featured image, there'll be a default featured image. And then, of course, you click Published when you want it to go live. But the content goes in here, the title goes there, and as many other pages as you want. I mean, you could have 75 About Us pages. It doesn't matter. But leadership and beliefs are always going to be on the top. The gospel is always going to be on the bottom. And everything else that you add is going to be here in the middle of this About Us menu. All right, so that's about it for About Pages. I think that we've got this to where it's going to be super useful for churches. And again, if you are an existing client and you don't have this yet, it will be rolling out to your site. It's just going to take us some time because it's going to be done manually for each site. All right, thanks.